How's it going, guys? This is Ryo Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. So in the season of March to April, mid-April or so, you guys probably had guessed there is a flower that blooms during this season, which is the Sakura. And interesting enough, typically when I shoot with a film camera during this season, I use my default setup, or film stock, which is Kodak Gold 200 with my GW690 or maybe 35mm film camera in most cases. And when I recently went to Champ Camera earlier this year, I came upon two rolls of expired Kodak Gold 200. And if you picked up on my videos or of the past, I actually never shot with expired film. This is a new territory for me. I'm testing it to see how it would go. And I thought it would be nice to just shoot with expired film due to the fact that you guys probably do not know or know, Sakura, when it blooms, it's fantastic to photograph. However, the lifespan is so short. I thought every single organism, every single plant, living item that we see has some kind of expiry date, and we have to appreciate during that time frame. And same for film. I thought it'd be nice to just shoot with this expired film to see how it will look in my mind. And there's a lot to talk about, but Kodak Gold 200, if you guys picked up the history of that film stock for medium format, it's already 3 years old when you think about it. It was released back in 2022, so right now 2025, it's like 3 years. This film stock has been expired for roughly 2 years or so. So when I did my research about expired film, rule of thumb is that for every decade or 10-year period, film stocks tend to lose one stop of light, meaning that if you have a Portra 400, after 10 years or so after the expired, you need to sort of compensate for that. In order to shoot that Portra 400, you have to shoot at 200 to compensate for that loss. Going back onto topic, Kodak Gold 200, it's roughly 2-year expires. So I actually did not take into account of that compensation. As usual, I basically shot one stop overexposed. That's what I do most of the time when I shoot with Kodak Gold 200. Instead of shooting at box speed at 200, I 100% shoot at 100. And I basically did that to see how it will look. And for location wise, because the flower Sakura blooms throughout Japan and throughout Tokyo, I thought it would be nice to just not shoot one specific location, but shoot 3 locations that I picked up on because I live along the Keio Line, which spans across throughout the western part of western part of Tokyo and the eastern part of Tokyo. I thought I should just pick up on 3 locations on that train line and just showcase the flower blooming around and the photos that I shot along the way. And I basically shot around Takaido, Shibasaki, and also Seiseki Sakuragaoka randomly, because I guess those are the major locations that I personally think are the best, which isn't crowded in my opinion. So yeah, with my GW690 Mark III. after shooting with expired film, and honestly, like I said, this film was expired like 2 years ago or so, so it had really negligible effects, and I could not tell that much of a difference, like in terms of like color shift or any kind of like problems that arise shooting with this expired film. There wasn't that much of a thing that I noticed when shooting with it. And because I overexposed by one stop, and because it was mostly partly cloudy in my opinion, I basically shot around at f8 instead of a typical f11. So the images don't look too sharp in my opinion. However, it retained enough detail to like showcase that, you know, flower blooming. And there were times I missed focus with my rangefinder. I should have had it in like front focus instead of back focus and stuff like that, but still I was able to capture what I wanted to shoot, which was all right in my opinion. And honestly, I'm going a little bit off topic because Kodak Gold 200 is, how should I say, a forgiving film stock, meaning that you can actually store Kodak Gold 200 similar to 35mm and 120 in, I guess, room temperature if you want, and it would have not much of effect towards the film stock. And that storing method of Kodak Gold 200, because it's like not too harsh compared to, I guess, professional film stocks such as Portra 400, Portra 800, which could be affected by the atmosphere. In most cases, those two film stocks, I guess, have to be stored in colder locations in a refrigerator or a freezer. Kodak Gold 200, because it's, I guess, built that way, it's built strongly against the, you know, atmosphere. I don't know if that's the correct way of saying it. It didn't have that much effect after being expired for 2 years or so. So that was actually something I've thought it would make great use of if you're in a location like Japan, when it's like, there are times when it's like really warm and hot, you know, during the summer seasons. I mean, this film stock is really forgiving in that sense that it's not that much affected by that, you know, the surroundings and stuff like that. So, and at the same time, how should I say, expired films in Japan, I guess same for North America, is cheaper to obtain, if I'm right, because I was able to obtain expired film Kodak Gold 200 for roughly 1,180 yen, so that's like $7-8 or so, compared to purchasing still in, how should I say, operational Kodak Gold 200, which hasn't expired, which costs roughly 1,600-700 yen, $13-14 or so in Japan. So yeah, when you think about it, price wise, I mean, it's okay to use as long as it's not too expired in my opinion. But when you think about it, because Kodak Gold started selling back in 2022, there's going, as the time progresses, there's going to be more and more film that's going to be expired. Thus, 5 years, 10 years down the road, there will be Kodak Gold 200 that's been expired for 10 years. I guess those are the ones that you have to be careful about when shooting, because like I said, Kodak Gold 200 is an ISO 200 film. If it expires for 10 years, for a decade or so, you have to compensate that for one stop of light. So you have to shoot at ISO 100, but because I shoot with one stop of overexposed, and probably most people will be shooting one stop overexposed, you have to take into account, and you have to shoot Kodak Gold 200 at ISO 50, which is unreasonably hard to do. So yeah, take that for granted. So hopefully I made some kind of contribution on that topic of shooting with expired film stocks. And yeah, if you have any expertise or any tips for shooting with Kodak Gold 200 or any kind of film stocks that's been expired for more than 2 years or 3 years ago, I would love to hear from you guys. What kind of tips or tricks you have up your sleeves? I mean, I guess there's that pushing and pulling kind of concept too for shooting expired films, but that is a territory that I haven't touched upon. So yeah, I would love to hear from you guys if you have any experience or expertise in that field. Hope you guys enjoy this video. If you found it informative, if you have any questions or any kind of insights on this topic, I would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, we will see you next time. Peace out. Yeah.